So I almost wasn't going to do a video. It is Sunday to rest, recharge, but I want to talk about this. I want to talk about what I found yesterday that no, the bulletproof vest wasn't the most alarming thing to me. This was. And we all know exactly why they had this in their room. If you think I'm wrong, maybe search your own soul. But I want to talk about this lie that came from the pit of hell. Nowhere in the Bible does it say to spank your child. It says direct, spare the rod, spoil the child. What exactly in the shepherd's rod? I asked Google. You can do it yourself. Please don't take my word for it. Find out for yourself. And it says, no, a good shepherd does not beat its sheep. While a shepherd uses a rod and a staff for guidance and protection, those tools for guiding wayward sheep back to the flock, checking their teeth, or fighting off predators. The idea that a shepherd breaks the sheep's leg to keep it from wandering is a myth, as such an injury makes the sheep vulnerable and harder to care for. The rod is a weapon used against predators and to guide, not to punish or cause pain to the sheep. You don't even have to be biblical to know that spare the rod and spoil the child for spanking is a lie. It is a lie. And it has done nothing but hurt our families. And it has done nothing but cause children not to trust their parents. Now, have I spanked? Yes, but it was always the last resort. And it was based off what I knew at the time. I'm not saying that my daughter probably should have been spanked more. I get that. Now, I want to talk, though, about how religion is being used and how, like, literally, watch Amazon's Shiny Happy People. Episode 2. This was my childhood. I was told by my father that when I didn't do what he told me to do, I disobeyed, that I was no longer under the protection of God's umbrella. That is so not true any more than everything my daughter's done to me would cause me not to go and run immediately to her and pick her up and save her from her, guide her back. Maybe a little harder than I should, but I'll repent. But it's just a lie, and it needs to stop. And I also want to have you guys watch Netflix, The Trials of Gabriel Fernandez, because we cannot forget that the system is broken. And I am not saying that the Florida DCF is like California's was at all. I'm simply saying there's documentation that the system is broken. And we all know somebody, if not have seen it ourselves, where the system is broken and we need to do a man better. I want to very quickly tell you a story about, to me, this is the right way to parent. If anybody's got strong-willed children, maybe, just maybe, think about this one. Then again, if you were like me as a child, maybe you wouldn't want to do this. But I know I've worked beside someone for over a decade, and he is one of the most sincerest, good people I've ever met. He's good. His fruit is very good. And I'm like, dude, he was raised Assemblies of God, all that. And I was like, that's nothing again. I'm saying with similar backgrounds. And I was like, how are you so good? And he proceeds to tell me a story about how he was, whether it was middle school or whatever, where kids start showing their independence, and he was getting in trouble. He'd gotten a few spankings, but he was just in the wrong crowd. And he'd done something wrong. And his dad was like, you know what? Spanking's not working, correction's not working. I believe I need to handle this like Jesus. And he says to his son, and I cry, and I try not to cry at work. And he says to him, you deserve this punishment. You absolutely deserve this spanking. But I'm going to take your punishment. I want you to spank me. I want you to inflict on me what your disobedience has brought on. I want to take that on. And he said, and I was like, that's what Jesus would do. That's what the head of a household does. When normal isn't working, you don't beat more. You don't take a wooden spoon to a toddler, much less someone that's just as strong-willed. It is a lie from the pit of hell. And as soon as our families, especially the mothers, wisen up to that, I think we'll be on the path to healing in no time. This is me reminding myself and everybody to do better. Thank you.